What would you do if you had been told to lose 50 pounds without exercise and without starving yourself? Become 10 years younger and you would live. Hi, my name is Austin. In this video, we're going to be talking about the story of Michael Wren and his experience with the weight loss destroyer program. Now, Michael's story is a very interesting one and a very fascinating story. At 57, he didn't think himself to be that much out of shape, even though he's not a stranger to diets and stuff like that. But like many of us, he noticed his body wasn't responding to him like he used to. And suddenly one day he suffered a heart attack, and when he woke up at the hospital, he was surrounded by his family, and eventually, to make a long story short, Michael was treated, and when he was about to leave the hospital, the doctor told him that he had 6 months to live unless he's able to lose 50 pounds without exercise and without starving himself, and be 10 years younger. So more or less, Michael left the hospital with a death sentence on his head, and I can only imagine the stress and the burden that put on his mind. So Michael left the hospital and went home and began to prepare himself for his demise, so to speak. So what he did was reach out to friends and family, kind of tell them his story and bid them farewell and wait to die. So, but something happened that turned the table in his favor. One of those that came to visit Michael was his young nephew, who was a young PhD, and a researcher at one of the universities on the West Coast. And so when he came to see Michael, they had a long talk. And during that conversation, some things came up that caught Michael's attention. And here is how Michael recalls that conversation that changed his life. He said it was September 17, 2011, and my nephew Stephen had just arrived at our home. As we sat talking, I felt such conflicting emotions. A blend of pride for the man he had become, and bitterness that I would not be alive to see him continue to develop. He told me all about his young family, how he had just bought a house, how he was already planning for retirement, and all about his work, and as a newly minted PhD and biologist at one of the top universities on the West Coast, and working at a medical research facility, the things that he was studying, the discoveries he was making, how much he loved his work. As the conversation winded to the end, he asked me the hard question: wasn't there anything that could be done? Wasn't there any hope? But I just told him what the doctor has already told me: lose 50 pounds without exercising and without starving yourself. Become 10 years younger. Things that were impossible because of my deteriorated physical state. And while I expected to just nod in understanding and to say he was sorry, what he said next caught me completely off guard. I don't think that's impossible at all. It was just 7 words, but they made me quick to anger. It was impossible, especially in my physical condition, especially with maybe a month or so left, especially because unless we are talking about a science fiction novel, you can't turn back the hands of time. and especially because I had already tried every way possible to regain my health with zero results. But even as I told him all of that, his expression still didn't change. "Hear me out," he said. "There is something I've been working on, and I think it could save you." He then proceeded to tell me about an extremely controversial theory he was developing. And with that said, Stephen left and came back 2 days later and handed Michael a notepad with a program in it that literally changed his life and turned the table around in his favor. In the program that Stephen handed over to Michael, here are some of the myths that he tried to bust. While drinking just 8 ounces glass of water per day is one of the fastest ways to accelerate the aging process. Now, who would think that drinking water is a bad thing? And we've been schooled all along that we should take at least 8 ounces of a glass of water each day. But here we are hearing a different perspective and a complete opposite perspective on this. And the second one says the counterintuitive reason why low-calorie dieting practically guarantees that you will keep gaining weight and adding fat to your stomach even if you work out 5, 6, or 7 times per week. Now again, we've been told that it is important that we work out 30 minutes at least 2-3 times a week, but here again we are hearing something different. And the third one is that why you should not exercise for more than 30 minutes a week. Latest research shows exercising more than that actually ruins your metabolism and literally forces fat to stick on you. And again, this ties in with the other myth, exercising. We have been schooled and drilled to believe that it is very important for us to exercise 2-3 times in a week, at least 30 minutes per session to keep fit and all that. But again, here we are hearing a completely different perspective on that. But before we hear directly from Michael, let's take a look at some of the before and after pictures of some of the people that have used this program successfully. Here we have Jim in Twin Falls, Idaho, before and after pictures. We have Maurice before and after pictures. We have Janet before and after pictures. So you can see that this program has helped quite a bit of people. Altogether, from Michael is saying 79,000 people have used this program. And let's hear from Michael what he has to say.
Hi, my name is Michael Wren, and you're about to hear a life-changing story of how a 57-year-old man, pronounced by doctors to be dead in 6 months because of his weight, manages to miraculously lose 53 pounds in 6 weeks and saves his own life. Yes, you didn't hear it wrong. 53 pounds in 6 weeks, going from this to this without any surgery or drugs whatsoever. And you'll be shocked, even outraged, when you discover the unconventional method used to melt away all the unwanted body fat in such a short period of time. After failing miserably for years, trying to lose weight following the usual advice by fitness experts such as drinking a lot of water, dieting, and exercising, the breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a biology research lab located at one of the top universities in California. A method so strange, so effective, and so controversial, you'll never see this on mainstream TV. And in the next 5 minutes, you'll also find out the vicious lies that $21 billion health industry is feeding you that not only hinders your weight loss efforts, but also wrecks your health. Lies such as why drinking just 8-ounce glasses of water a day is one of the fastest ways to accelerate the aging process. The counterintuitive reason why low-calorie dieting practically guarantees that you will keep gaining weight and adding fat to your stomach even if you work out 5, 6, or 7 times per week. Why you should not exercise for more than 30 minutes a week. The latest research shows exercising more than that actually ruins your metabolism and literally forces fat to stick on you. But more importantly than all of that, If you stick with me to the very end of this short video that may not be up for long, you're also going to be shown the exact fat-destroying method used, scientifically proven to rapidly and permanently melt away every spare ounce of fat on your body, dramatically skyrocketing your vitality, energy, and sex drive, significantly lower your risks for major diseases like cancer, heart disease, and diabetes, and reversing effective aging in your body by decades in as little as a few short weeks from now. This fat-destroying method will bring you a total physical transformation, requires zero prescription medications, restricted diets, overpriced but ineffective weight loss products, or calorie counting, and will work for people of any age, any body type, and in any state of physical health, because this scientific method is based on sound biology. Before we go any further, however, it's important that I give you a fair warning. The weight loss industrial complex, along with their Judas Cow ringleaders, the evil marketing masterminds behind Weight Watchers, the Atkins diet, and more, the ones who have been secretly making billions of dollars off of your pain and suffering while nodding, smiling, and quietly leading you straight to the slaughterhouse, are willing to spill blood to keep you from seeing the health secret that I'm about to give you right inside this video. That's because they know that once you do hear the truth, they'll never be able to steal another penny out of your pocket again. Just like the 79,411 others who use this method you're about to see in this video, and I'll show you proof in just a moment, you'll suddenly find that you have the physique of a 30-year-old, even if you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s right now, and have flabby arms or a big-sized spare tire around your belly at the moment. You'll instantly look, feel, and be fundamentally healthier than you have in at least 20 years. And you'll find that all of the symptoms and causes of your most major health conditions, things like diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, chronic pain, even cancer, have completely faded away from your body in a manner that's so miraculous, it will make even the most adamant atheist scratching his head, looking up at the sky and screaming with raised fists that there is a God. Now, the secret I'm about to share with you is so simple, so easy to implement in your own life, and so powerful that it probably sounds almost unbelievable when you first hear about it. And you're likely wondering how something like this could possibly exist without you ever knowing about it, right? To be honest, I felt exactly the same way when this young medical graduate first told me about his revolutionary scientific breakthrough. I thought he was just some hotshot PhD who was full of you-know-what, and that there was no way this could be real. But after observing the life-changing effects in my own body, and watching more than 79,411 others just like you and me try it for themselves and experience unbelievable, unheard of, and life-saving results, I am fundamentally convinced that what I'm about to share with you will not only give you the tone, lean physique that you've either always wanted but never had, or once had and lost decades ago, but that it will totally and permanently revolutionize your health, reversing virtually all of your medical ailments, conditions, and diseases, and physically lower your age by at least 10 years. That's exactly what happened for Jim in Twin Falls, Idaho. He lost more than 15 pounds in less than 2 weeks. He was shocked when the pounds started coming off as if by magic. Alan from Abilene, Texas, lost 21 pounds in 2.5 weeks. Or Maureen from Port Washington, New York, who used a simple method you're about to discover to lose 27 pounds in a month. Janet from Gulfport, Mississippi, she lost 35 pounds in less than 6 weeks. Not only she lost her unwanted body fat, she also looks way younger now. Here's what Bryce from Fort Myers, Florida says. What you shared in your presentation saved my life, and I'm not being dramatic. Before I watched your video, my doctor said I was 75 pounds overweight and had just been diagnosed with severe type 2 diabetes. I didn't think there was hope, and I thought I was going to die. Even though I was somewhat skeptical at first, you explained the science behind this in such a convincing and easy-to-understand fashion that I figured I'd give it a try. That was the best decision I've ever made. It's only been 24 days, but I've already lost 70 pounds, and incredibly enough, I'm medically no longer even considered a diabetic. I can't believe how powerful this stuff is. Thank you for sharing. Those are just a few of the tens of thousands of real-life success stories I've received, and I'll share a few more with you in a minute. But before I do, it's important I tell you who I am, how this works, and why it will not only transform your body, but also save your life. So, like I mentioned, my name is Michael Wren, and I'm 57 years old. This is a picture of me today. And here's a picture of what I looked like 3 years ago. Now, here's a picture of what I looked like 12 years ago at age 45. It's a pretty incredible transformation, right? And I'll tell you a secret. Not only do I look and feel physically better than I did when I was in my mid-40s, I actually am physically healthier on all accounts. Now, that's not just me being boastful. I recently had a full panel of tests done at the Mayo Clinic, including DNA testing and cellular analysis. And they told me that from a biological, physiological, and cellular perspective, my body was the same as a 31-year-old.
So that is Michael's story, and similar stories for 79,000 others out there. And several months after, Michael went back to the same hospital, and here is what his doctor said. He says, "I don't understand," he began. "This doesn't make sense. Your blood pressure is 110/80. That's literally the ideal blood pressure, but it's typically only found in kids and 20-something. Your LDL or cholesterol level is about 70, which is again just about as perfect as you can get. Your resting heart rate is about 50 BPM, which is something we typically only see in professional athletes. And you have lost 53 pounds, but you don't look starved or emaciated or sickly. You actually look dramatically healthier. None of this makes sense. We need to run more tests." So the doctor was shocked. This is the same person that he had passed a death sentence on several months before. And not only that Michael did not die, he came back. Not only strong, but stronger and healthier and looking 10 years younger. So this is nothing short of a miracle. And that's Michael's story. It could be your story. So if you've been struggling with obesity and trying to lose weight and all the complications that come with obesity or weight loss, so this could be your story, and I would encourage you to take a look at it. And all you have to do is scroll down to the bottom, click on the link in the description box, and go check it out. And here they have a money back guarantees for 60 days money back guarantee. So if you check it out and just measure up to your expectations, you have 60 days to let them know, and they will refund your money, no questions asked. So again, I want to encourage you, scroll down, click on the link, and go grab your copy right now. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.